What's up guys? Today I've got my hands on a brand new Windows gaming handheld. This is the AOKZOE A2. This new console is powered by a very capable AMD APU, which also supports ray tracing. It's also jam-packed with lots of interesting features, a very nice ergonomic design, and I was actually able to run the very latest AAA games on this with no issues, and I will be sharing my gameplay footage a little bit later in the video. But first of all, quick look at the accessories that you get in the box. So you get an envelope with your quick start guide, warranty information, etc. We've got a Type-C to Type-C braided cable, 65 watt Type-C fast charger included in the box, and last but certainly not least, the game console itself. Alright, so let's just quickly run through the specs. Okay, so screen size is 7-inch IPS full screen display. The screen has no bezel, so very attractive looking screen. Resolution is 1920 by 1200 with 100% sRGB color space. The A2 is powered by the AMD Ryzen 7840U with 8 cores, 16 threads, and it's a 4nm APU clocked at 3.3 GHz base and up to 5.1 GHz turbo, and you have integrated AMD 780M graphics. There is a choice between 32 gigs or 64 gigs of LPDDR5 RAM, and storage choices start from 512 gigs all the way up to 4 TB max. And it uses a 2280 Gen 4 M.2 NVMe SSD. And this one here is actually the 32 plus 1 TB variant. Now the A2 console also benefits from MicroSD expansion, Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.2. This has a 12,600 mAh battery built in and supports 65 watt fast charging. And this is running full legit version of Windows 11 Home activated and ready to use. The console has a very nice design with custom LED lights around the joysticks. Ergonomics are really nice as well. We have rounded curved hand grips on the back on both sides, so very comfy for long gaming session, and the grips on the back have a rather nice soft touch finish to it, making it nice and grippy in the hands. So you have quite an advanced multi-cooling system consisting of large cooling fan, large intake and exhaust, dual heat pipes and lots more. The controller layout is Xbox style with the XYBA buttons. You have dual Hall effect joysticks with custom LED lighting along with D-pad. You have your select start buttons, you got shortcuts for on-screen keyboard, and you have a turbo button and show desktop button. So up on top we have our trigger buttons with large Hall effect linear triggers, and you get micro motion shoulder keys. And in between you have power button, volume buttons. We've got a power LED indicator, headphone jack. We've got USB 4 port which supports display out, fast charging and data transfer. And we have a full-size USB 3 port and microSD expansion. At the bottom of the unit you will see another USB 4, again supporting fast charging, data transfer and display out. And you have your stereo speaker grills on either side. Pressing the turbo button will bring up your gaming overlay, which is actually very useful. It lets you customize things on the fly. You can tweak the TDP performance from 4 watts to 30 watts. You can adjust things like the fan speed, vibration intensity, screen resolution. You can play with the RGB lighting effects, and there are plenty of options to choose from. As you guys can see, it instantly changes. I got it set on the Cyberpunk colors to match that wallpaper. And once you make a selection, if you decide no, I want to switch the lights off, hit the Y button and the lights will be switched off. If you need them back, press Y again. At the bottom you can see you've got brightness and volume control dials. And right at the bottom you have a small memory logo. Press it and it will basically free up the memory for you immediately. Now at any point, if you long press that turbo button, it will bring up your game library interface with all your current installed games on one page. So you can conveniently launch games directly from this interface, or you can just double tap the traditional way. Okay, so without any further ado, it's time to share some gameplay footage. And for each game that I play, I will show you what you can expect from various graphic and TDP settings, so we can try to push the console to its limit in order to test the real-time performance. Alright, so first game, GTA 5. I have the graphics maxed out to very high, got VSync off. The TDP is set to 30 watts and we are achieving around 60 frames per second. It's comfortable, smooth gameplay. It looks really good, plays really well. Now what would happen if I switch the TDP down? Let's find out, shall we? So I want to drop the TDP down to around 15 watts. Let's see what happens. So I've halved the TDP, and you can see we're still able to play at just over 50 frames per second. 1080p resolution, and the game still looks and plays pretty well. We need to challenge this further. Okay, let's drop it down to the absolute minimum 4 watt TDP. So still playing in full HD with graphics maxed out to very high. TDP dropped down to 4 watts and we're achieving around 15 frames per second. So this should give you a pretty good idea about GTA 5, but that is quite an old game. I think it's over 10 years old. Let's play something a bit more recent and see what happens. Alright, so the next game we're playing is FC24. The graphics are maxed out to ultra and we have the TDP set to 30 watts. And you can see we're achieving around 35 frames per second.
Now this has to be, and there it is, the opening goal, and what a bright start it's been.
So FC24 playing really well. Let's try something else. Now this game here is quite graphically intense, especially with AMD APUs. So let's see what sort of performance we get with this one. Okay, so this has to be the best graphics settings to use for this game on this console. We're set to 1080p resolution, graphics are set to medium, ray tracing is off, and we got the TDP set to 30 watts. And now we're achieving close to 30 frames per second. The game is much smoother in gameplay. This has to be the best settings for this game. Now if you wanted a higher frame rate, you could of course drop it down to low. You could even switch down to 720p. That would certainly make a big difference. So the next game we're going to try and play is WWE 2K23. Now this game really does require a decent system in order to run smooth. There's a lot going on in this game. It is very graphically intense. So texture quality we're going to leave on standard. Graphics is already grayed out to 1080p. VSync off. Model quality standard, because low is not an option. Okay, shadows we switch off straight away because I know what will happen. Shader quality, can't switch it off, so low. Everything else that I can switch off, I have switched off, including depth of field and motion blur. So this is the lowest graphics that we can select. Let's see if we can play this game. So yeah, surprisingly good performance from WWE 2K23 on this. Didn't have to drop the resolution down. It worked straight on 1080p. TDP is set to 30 watts. Graphics at its lowest. Okay, so the next game I'm testing is Call of Duty Cold War. Here are the graphics settings. So you can see 1080p resolution. I have set everything to its lowest possible setting. So the ray tracing settings are set to medium and that is its lowest. We're going to play a quick round of Nuketown and see what happens. So you guys can see we're achieving quite a good performance from Call of Duty Cold War. We got the resolution set to 1080p, we've got ray tracing set to medium, graphics set to its lowest, TDP set to 30 watts, and we're achieving close to 60 frames per second. And the game is playing very smooth actually. So there you have it guys, that was the AOKZOE A2. And here are my thoughts. I absolutely love the design and ergonomics. It's lightweight and feels great in the hands. You have a really nice and bright bezel-less IPS display, and having those extra USB 4 ports and a full-size USB 3 port is very useful, and the icing on the cake has to be MicroSD expansion. And Type-C display out works really great. You can even hook up an external game controller and play on the big screen, giving you a console-like experience. Hook up a keyboard and mouse and you have yourself a main PC which will let you game, edit content, browse the web, or stream movies and videos online. This is basically a powerful PC full-featured Windows 11 Home, which you can take with you anywhere you like. Now, battery life is as expected from these Windows handhelds. So 2.5 hours is the most you're going to achieve, but that does depend on what you're playing and what setting you have that TDP on. Very nice to get a 65-watt fast charger included in the box. This is a prototype review unit, but it offered me a great experience. No crashes, no freezes, no instability issues. It was just a smooth, powerful, handheld Windows gaming experience. Now, this one played nearly all the big games at 1080p, medium to low graphics. Some games even ran at maximum graphics like FC Football 24. And finally, the stereo speakers are actually very good quality. So top-notch stereo speakers included. Now, with all that being said, that concludes this video. If you have any questions or anything you want me to test on this, do let me know in the comments. And with all of that being said, do consider subbing to the channel for your daily dose of the latest and greatest unbiased tech reviews. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.